Getting the show on the road, the JoJo Podcast, season 17, episode 6. What it do, what it is.
Is it 6?
Yeah, man.
Already?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go. Let's
get
go.
it.
The grand.
Still coming to you live from private location.
Yeah, private locations. You know, Maralisha Buffett.
But those that know the couch mustn't come in the comments.
Alright, man.
Yeah,
Alright, man.
sharp.
Bali,
Hi,
how you
Des.
doing? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How
Sharp.
are you?
Feeling better this week?
I am much, thank you.
Much better. Alright, needing something.
Last week, Little Luna, Hannah work economic vet.
Yeah.
Mbali said, Des, why don't we just move in together?
And now they're saying I'm married.
Yeah.
Now they're saying I'm You grow.
And the only reason you don't have drama in your life over that comment is because of how your life is structured.
Exactly.
But any other time.
Exactly. Oh. Yeah, man. Get over the greetings, man. Me and Bali are like this.
Yeah.
Alright. No Shabbat this week.
Yeah, man.
What did you get up
I
to?
had an easy week. No, I didn't get up to anything.
Nothing much.
Just-
No concerts. No nothing.
No, chilled week.
Alright.
Just taking care of business.
Alright. In the warehouse. At your Wiley in the warehouse. In the construction boots. At your Wiley in the construction boots. But they're cute though.
They're very cute.
Where the fuck did you find pink
I
ones?
will. Hey, Des, don't know all my business, but yes, they're very cute.
Because my sister does she's in
She's in
construction.
construction, yeah.
Yeah.
She's in construction,
Yeah. Unazabuar, how she was struggling to find boots.
I'll help her.
Yeah.
I will plug her.
Yeah.
But I'll got them at G-Fox. It's not a secret.
Eish, and Batama, no Unatancha they were doing spanning the McDonald's.
Okay. Constructions. Refurbishments and development.
Yeah, for fun.
I'd be so annoyed if you rocked up on site with pink fucking boots.
Why are you annoyed? They still serve the same purpose as your black ones.
They do.
So then,
Just my masculine bias.
Yeah.
Give a name,
Yeah,
and
give a
then here's
name.
this miss, whatever the
And
fuck.
you're also trying to make a statement. Who don't
Pink
belong
boots,
here.
like, where the hell do you think this is?
Yeah.
no.
It looks like someone, you think this is a fashion contest?
Lena ke
You
tlo
want to come
sebetsa
and look
mona, I
cute on
just-
site?
Why can't I look cute about it? I'm here to do the
Sweating,
same
just
thing you
tell
are.
papa you and off miss what?
You know?
Got the pegs with your pink boots. Get the fuck out of here.
And they give a name.
I'd hate that shit, bruh.
Bruh. and my
I would hate that shit.
Yo, because my sister always tells me it's masculine energy there.
Very
bro.
masculine, yeah.
It's masculine. It's very masculine.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be like, yo.
And at first she was una strage, like she always had to be accompanied by other men because they weren't listening.
Yeah. You know,
They just wouldn't listen to her.
my first job.
I hardly steady instruction from head office to relate to what these people need to do. Never saw my man.
Yeah.
And
Hey, short. Hey,
Educated.
dog.
Soft-spoken.
dog. But now at least
You know,
you
rank
have
and-
to find your voice.
Rank and file employees. Hanik tala spana ne kile raipo ne rena le warehouse. Wabo. How ka tla ka buka? Let's get it. Dito sharp mfana do still. So I remember the warehouse manager was a guy. He's a CEO of a nice big company, so I won't say his name, but Hanek Spana Rafela Diamond, he was an MIT graduate. But he's a very Zulu nigga. Ne? Very young, like. So when the company was starting to give young niggas a chance, they gave him a chance to be a manager at a warehouse. That man figured out, hore, to appeal to these niggas, I need to be one of them. So hore, one day have a cook and thing, aloja breakfast le bon. So it's, let's say, retrain. So Modi say, we are the last three. Pap, cabbage, steak. So he calculates, he's an engineer, he calculates, already, there's enough pap for two of us. Ardi manar, di kalele yonke no pap.
Oh my god! They took the whole fucking thing.
I already did the calculation. No, there's enough food for three of us. I am and that's breakfast.
Jesus, bro. Because they work hard, bro. So, and he's gonna burn all of that shit
to manage
at the job.
To manage that those environments, you have to be one with the people.
Yeah.
Lanzonale school.
Nah, Bali's gonna do her thing with the boots, man.
Because this come ping.
Bali's gonna do her thing with the boots.
Otherwise, I'm okay. Thank you, Des. How are you?
I'm easy. Yeah, uneventful week from my side. Yeah, man, I didn't really get up too much because I had my boy around. So whatever, do my little parent thing. Yeah, during the week Saturday, biking around. Punse tire, that I need to fix.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah, basically. I need to bring up back those skills again. I get from the thing,
tube.
and then we not take a minute to find where the thing,
the hole is.
and then we say we pump it, it just
How about being to now? Thing
no, I get bump.
as a
It just as
a
a rule.
rule.
That's
good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, I get bump.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sky expose one about two but different.
Body in and out. Nah, I don't do
that's
that.
good. That's good.
I don't do that. Yeah. So that's why didn't really get up too much, man. When I
My week was uneventful. No, pula holo.
Yeah,
I think
on
it's
Thursday.
rained 2-3 times.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, Kali. My opposite neighbor, who hloka o se a mo nantsa ditori tse mnatori. Ke la bona mosadi a o qoqela hore the current husband o mo fuwa mane a le pregnant with another nigga's baby.
Jesus.
Ooh, I was so entertained. I'm
First to yeah.
I was so in, and I don't wanna talk about the story because while I'm chilling with this chick, then the guy comes over. The guy says, "I know you from the podcast." Which podcast? Majitamang abasud.
Yeah,
And in my head, I'm like, this story sounds so juicy. I want to tell her on the podcast. Now she might go and watch.
it.
Yeah. So it was just that.
It was just that.
There wasn't anything.
Aight, man. When
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of tests right now.
But did push it? It's not difficult.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's harder than
First check. It's again, 1 year now. The real shit, yeah, again, I know.
Yeah, who to take a constitutional law?
Yeah.
Hey.
It's hectic.
Hey.
God damn.
Also, the second year focuses on constitutional law.
It's just a module.
Oh, it's a module. Okay.
It's a single module. Shale bana ba ifeitsi ba le bangata kara ba lla ka yona. Hona le ba itshuna mama that time.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
But they kids, so I'll take it with a grain of salt. But still,
Yeah.
hey.
But it's a hard module.
Yeah. You can tell just by reading it. Okay, no. Kanyo.
Yeah.
Would you say the Constitution? Because I'm just thinking about this top of my head already. Constitution, just like the Bible, in a lot of contradictions. It doesn't.
It's a set of laws, Leon, and
What would you say are
So I would
contradictions?
say, for example, like Habari, one of the other things that are enshrined in the Constitution, Gibo, South Africa belongs to all those that live in it. So as a result, it even protects a foreigner. Then when in your head you are thinking about this is our land, but me and you, so there's a contradiction. Like this is my land.
It's not a contradiction. It sets it out clearly by all those who live in it. It doesn't say SA citizens. You the contradiction.
Yeah. So but in my head, like it's almost a contradiction because I'm thinking, I am South African.
But I get that's why, like, a lot of laws, even new laws, when they come about, they have to stress test them against the Constitution, right? To see if they fall in line within.
Yeah, but it only gets stress tested if there's an interested party who will take it there.
Who will take it there.
So you have to
the
take
way.
it there. So if you see a discrepancy or something that doesn't align with constitutional values, you can take it to the Concourse and argue the thing.
You take it
and
up.
if you win, any law that's inconsistent with the Constitution
Gets set
repealed.
aside.
Oh, just like Dubuli Pony now has been reaffirmed
Yeah, I had it as.
by the Constitution Court.
So
It's not hate speech.
So you have to stress test it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, maybe we can. I can say if you are done, Jack.
No,
I'm cool.
Yeah. Because I had that Concord ruling out. I just wanted high summary comments around how you
What
feel
happened?
around. So I get it. Remember, it started with Julius singing the song, and then AfriForum
Took him to court.
over it.
Where he walked all over that
Yes.
attorney Abon.
Yeah, and he won that.
He won that.
And then they
appealed.
They appealed
to the Constitutional Court.
To the Constitutional Court, or they wanted leave to appeal.
Leave to appeal, yeah.
Yeah, and then Bebare, nah,
It stays.
it stays.
It's not hate speech.
It's not hate speech.
That
Push out.
song is not
Yeah.
hate speech according to the Constitutional
Yeah,
Court.
yeah. So they were not granted the leave to appeal.
So it's done now.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ufedi.
they can sing the song.
Yeah, the song can be sung. So, but I agree, obviously there's still pushback. DA Ilansa a comment to say, Hore, even though the ruling says what it says, but the song still shows divisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was their stance. FF Plus, Lebona came out to say the same thing. Lebona, they made a comment about, Hore, white people buried the hatchet 30 years ago. Why we are still bringing up struggle songs, in this new dispensation. So there's still like a uneasiness from certain political parties.
Was there ever any uproar around the Mkhonto Sizo song? Because when I'm more rona ba Mkhonto re ikemiseditse ho abola kaofela maburwana.
Tina ban bomkhonto sizmisele.
Ugo abulala wonke la mabhulu.
I don't think that
I think ANC does not sing it in public.
Yeah,
though.
it's not popular.
Maybe that's the difference.
Maybe it's because
Then
it's
how
not
do we know
popular.
it?
Huh?
How do we know
The
it?
first time I heard that song was at Chris Honey's funeral.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Because
But
what
you
EFF
didn't hear it a lot.
And even though Kimba Zima on the podium.
Yeah,
Podium.
But you didn't hear it often.
That's 93.
Was that 93?
It was 93.
Yeah, because Chris Hani died Easter of 93.
But is it a popular song that they sing?
No, that's what I'm saying. The nuance here is that what EFF is doing.
Yeah, it's not a Ibino Kiba Mkhonto. I think where you see like an MK veterans rally, the song will most probably be sung.
They'll sing it. Yeah, it's just that I think with regards to this song, it's because Julius was singing it on a national.
And he's more prominent. Even in the media. So white people are easier to catch wind of it than if it was Honopatua and Tatemulwa.
Sure.
Neribina Bethlehem.
Yeah.
That won't catch
wind.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
I wonder if that song would ever come under scrutiny though.
It would. With that lyric?
Yeah, with that
Yeah, it definitely will.
If Ramaphosa sang that, and the NC run.
Yeah, it definitely will. We're killing
But
one.
then the legal precedent is there now. It might
It might pass.
Because
might not pass.
It might pass because the legal precedent now is that
I'm saying if you stress test it, they would take it.
Oh, they would take it will not pass. Yeah, I know we.
They wouldn't win.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Based on
No,
the precedent.
meaning they wouldn't go even if they try to take it to court again.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
they wouldn't
yes,
win.
they
Yeah,
wouldn't win, yeah,
they wouldn't win.
yeah.
Because now we have a president. Yeah.
But I saw there's this show Sunday Clement Manyatel addressing the nation or something. What's it called? It's like very current affairs-ish.
On radio.
State of the Nation. I can't remember what the show is. No, it's on TV on SABC. You're talking this guy who does the midday show after breakfast. 7 to Clement Manyatel. So they had an EFF person, and then they had DA's person.
Yeah.
So the DA person is obviously against the ruling of the Constitution. Ne? So as they are deliberating, so Chirin or Rohan, no, that guy or no. Even if we can't prove that a person has been killed as a direct result of the song,
Yeah.
but the character of the song does sow divisions,
Yes. Which is what DA said.
and it's not in the interest of nation building. So this lady, okay, are you interested in nation building? By your argument, you are, ne? And you are saying, even if you can't prove that this song leads to people killing white people, since you are saying you are interested in nation building, there should be a lot of things about this nation that bothers you. Ownership patterns, salary patterns. You see, but so you can't say when you are in the interest of nation building, because if you were, you should be bothered.
By a lot of things.
You should be bothered if then she was using an example. If you were to explain to an alien, somebody who's not from South Africa, based on the demographics and whatnot, the ownership patterns of South Africa are very alien. They don't support the structure of how we are. So therefore, I put it to you, Rowena, you are not interested in nation building. It's just that this thing is offensive to you. And sometimes maybe you should be honest.
I actually like that because
That's the host saying that.
No. That's the EFF person, not the host.
Oh, so the host was
He
facilitating
was
the discussion.
facilitating.
Okay.
Yes, the host was. It was an EFF lady.
yeah, I like that argument.
When you are, if you are saying your grounds are nation building, I'm proving you are not for nation building. When
Which is true, bro.
yeah.
Yeah. According to me,
you're not for nation building. It's just that politically this song offends you. You know that it has no impact, does not influence anybody, but you are not for nation building. Because if you were, there are a lot of things you can worry about.
and it's
The nation that they're interested in is the Afrikaner nation. That's the nation that they want to build and uphold. And it makes sense why they'd always want to be like the topic of discussion as much as they are, because if they don't, they're going to dwindle out.
They will.
It's only a matter of time.
Matter of time, yeah.
will.
And they can foresee it.
Yeah.
it's coming, no?
Yeah, they can foresee it. So Bazamaka hold for it, like this culture of theirs remains
Even at the expense of
recognized
logic.
and at the expense of
Logic. Like what I'm saying is that sometimes the arguments that they advance, like for example, we know there's no genocide.
it's not
Of course.
Well, but me fighting against Dubili Boer is not illogical. In real literal terms, it's not illogical.
Yeah.
Like it's not illogical for me to feel some way about you singing about the killing of my people.
I get it.
of course.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
of
get it.
course,
So-
of course.
I don't think it's illogical, because if it was illogical, then the court cases wouldn't take as long as they do.
Yeah. When I'm saying it's illogical, I'm just saying, Hore, remember that Tubuli Puni is one aspect of the arsenal that they are using. But then they're also using the arsenal of taking us to America.
Yeah, but I agree. They're using part of the song to fuel a lie about white genocide,
yes.
which the white genocide is a lie.
Yeah. So what I'm saying was that in
And
the
the
broader
farm
fight,
leaders, yes.
there's some illogicalities that
of course.
Of
Of course.
But because your interest and your agenda is driven by the fact that you want Afrikaner preservation,
Yeah.
you are willing to forego logic
Yeah.
in some packets of what you are fighting
Yeah,
for.
Okay, yeah.
And they have,
Yeah.
because white genocide and the over-exaggerated number of white murders, cutting farm murders,
So-
speak to the
In the last 2 episodes we did, I was saying, Ore, Trump does not have to listen to what AfriForum's acid test of South African race relations. He can go to all the multinational. Citibank is there, it's an American bank. Coca-Cola is there. So he can gather people in the room and say, is it true what these niggas are saying? Because we have business interest in South Africa. He already know that the answer is going to go against AfriForum. But because it feeds into the white supremacy, you are willing to go against logic
Sure.
to make this thing a prevalent issue.
Yeah.
On the Afrikaner side or Trump side?
On the Afrikaner side, but Trump Lena we use her as because he's a fascist.
Yeah.
But Trump barely has a leg to stand on. He's trying, but he's not winning.
Yeah.
Because this has been ventilated for so long.
Yeah.
It's very hard for someone who doesn't have the nuances around the history of a country to make a pronouncement. Because he also doesn't. He's a dunderhead, bro. He doesn't understand. And somebody said that actually the only reason he's even interested in this thing is because his buddy wants his Starlink in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a business interest. It's a
It
business
is.
interest.
You know, so
It is.
so that he can
Got this thing.
maybe transgress diplomatic rules of protocol.
Yeah.
But
And- and make our relations so
Yeah,
strained.
but he's not really interested in
Yeah.
in the well-being of Afrikaners. I don't think he is.
Yeah, he
At a
core.
moral level.
At a
no.
moral level.
Yeah. I don't think he cares.
I don't know if you guys saw this because there was something that
Just because before again, Jorge, maybe with us, then our stance, we should wait his presidency out.
yeah, which is only 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should just wait
'Cause
until we get
that's
somebody
his
with
last time.
with better sense.
I don't know if you guys saw this. The Daily Maverick deep dived into the Visit AfriForum.
To the
remember
US.
Murisari, I wonder if Trump, in as much as that, as a white person, you might be sympathetic to white cause, where he's just annoyed with these niggas. So they proved in that dilemma when these niggas went, they didn't get audience with the core lawmakers. They met with like podcasters, a guy like it's like saying I went to South Africa, we met with an MMC, not even a member of Congress. So they proved that. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see that.
It's like you sending a delegation to SA and then you have to sit with the Dojo podcast.
Exactly.
Like you're not sitting with
your issues.
You're not sitting with anybody important.
And and it's opportunistic too, because Trump is the only person you could have been able to take something like this with. If you've taken like this thing to like a Joe Biden. Joe Biden has been in politics since apartheid.
Sure.
He's been in Congress speaking against that regime.
He
understands. He was there when the ANC was lobbying them.
Actually,
you know.
And he was.
So these are people who understand the history of this country. Trump is getting a high level view. Okay, it's like what's happening there?
No, but
somebody gives him like a 15-minute synopsis. He's like,
fuck these niggas. It's just that because of what he can do, and when he says something, it has far wider implications. You know what I'm saying?
But then you must also remember, like I said previously, the people that are making the most noise at the White House, it's him and 2 or 3 other niggas.
Yeah.
But
Congress is over 400 people, I think. If this thing was a thing, you'd have a large uproar of American politicians saying something. I don't think it's really that much of a cause of concern. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be inconvenient at some point, especially with the tariff things and whatnot.
And the loss of aid and
but
things. But
these are not things that we can't survive.
And you can tell, like, with Ramaphosa's sort of stance with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't seem like he's worried as much as the Afro Forum and FF Plus and DA would want us to be panicking.
Yes.
Even with the expulsion of the ambassador.
Yeah, he was
like,
chilled.
All right, cool, we'll send another.
Yeah, we'll just send another.
Yeah. In fact, when it comes to
like he's lax.
In fact, if the American presidency or the incumbency in the presidency of the Americans was so assured that this is an issue, they would not expel our ambassador only. They would actually shut down the consulate. Because the consulate manages American interests. There's American Chamber of Business in South Africa.
Sure.
But they have to just do. That's like there's a part of them that's empathetic to whiteness.
And the consulate is the first people you speak to. What's happening on the ground?
Exactly.
And then they go and do their research. Are you ready?
Because what AfriForum is doing is that you need to understand where it's like Malema. When someone says, "Are you happy that Malema is singing Tubulupun?" Yeah, bruh. Malema represents less than 1 in 10 voters. So while he's a politician, the second biggest party in South Africa is double the size of EFF. So what he does is that he's doing a political thing as Tubulipun, but it doesn't mean Tubulipun as a song at a material level. It makes so much sense that you would even say, yeah, look at MPs in South Africa, they are singing against. But if it was empty, yes, you'd be right.
Of course.
But it's inconsequential.
Yeah. But obviously we can't deny, Jorge, you know, like the sort of stance that the US or the sort of things that are happening, our relations with the US are not rosy. There's provocation, even if it might not be significant.
But again, if we understand, the honesty of it is that America is not happy with us because of the ICJ, Israel.
Of course.
They are not happy with us with the fact that we are empathetic towards the Palestine struggle.
Of course.
They are not happy with the fact that we are core part of BRICS. So at a trade and economic level, they see South Africa. Remember, South Africa is the only country in Africa where the US has the biggest corporate interest.
Yes.
Right? But South Africa is also important in other allies that are against the American establishment. It's got nothing to do with AfriForum. In fact, AfriForum is being used.
To fight maybe...
It's being used.
To say
it's being used. They can even find them, Coach Orania, Jalan, so that if Rabata can South Africa.
It might be... the Israel thing actually might be the biggest thing.
And Iran.
Yeah.
And Iran.
Yes, and the BRICS,
Yeah,
because
and
we are
the
so
BRICS.
le Russia, le China.
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
But now what they are doing is that
Mara,
the smoke.
They're going.
The smoke is that even if they want to get us caught, they will be like, okay, let's fund AfriForum, or it's in our best interest as America
To
for
destabilize.
Orania to be an established consulate or whatever, an enclave, right? So that black people can stand up against the establishment of
That thing.
which warrants us to have missionaries for peacekeeping,
Or to destabilize the
which
country.
indirectly is a military base.
To destabilize the
Yes.
country. They want to destabilize.
It's in their
the-
best interest.
To destabilize
Yes.
South Africa.
But the reason that they're going with is not an honest reason.
No, I feel you.
It's not an honest reason.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Do you think we are susceptible to destabilization
Yes.
as a country?
Very much so, yes.
Yes,
How would you do it?
So, because when you look at South Africa, for me, is that it's already happening. So, the only reason you have GNU ne, is only because of MK party.
And the loss of power of the ANC. I
Because
guess.
if you go on the news and everything before Ramaphosa before ANC won, then everything was anti-ANC, anti-what, ne? But because we never saw Msholozi coming, it was in the best interest of whiteness to be on the side of another black.
Okay.
Because in the absence of GNU, you've got ANC, EFF, and MK talking to each other with no buffer. You sit there as an interested whiteness, or let's say a capital, like, shit, these people are brothers. They're branch off of each other. Actually, the only way I can do this is throw money at it. I have to throw money, such good money at ANC that they should not entertain Zuma.
But is
You
that a
know-
destabilization?
Yeah, because
I guess maybe by destabilization, I mean like somebody who can come and instigate a coup or civil unrest in a country.
no.
And
I don't-
usually
I don't-
places where you
I
can
don't think we're
destabilize
right
a
for
country
that.
like that is a country that's already rife with internal,
Yeah.
Conflict.
yeah.
With an element of dictatorship.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
do you think they'd be able to do something like that to us?
No, I don't think we are that.
Right now, no.
No,
They can't.
No. they can't.
No, we're not.
No.
We're not ripe for that.
Yeah, and we're not. We're not that
Yeah, we're
divided,
not.
especially black people,
Yes.
where they would need a significant number of us to really destabilize.
Yeah.
woman.
But also because remember in South Africa,
Speaking to what a point that Tabang had made, if let's say they over exaggerate the threat to Afrikaners, would a foreign country feel it upon themselves to intervene on their behalf militarily?
I don't think it would be an easy decision to make. I don't think it would be such an easy decision
Yeah.
to make. A lot of people have interest here. A lot of countries have interest here.
Yeah, especially
and I don't
the
think
US.
I don't think the Western world would be united in.
In military action in the country,
Yeah.
right?
in fact, in South Africa, you know, the uniqueness of South Africa, even when there's oppression, there's all these things, ne, is the illusion of democracy. Because in South Africa, you feel like you can, even if, like, remember when I was saying, Mori, white people now hide behind, but ANC, fuck ANC, this, ne, because they cannot say the ANC is illegitimate. Because the fact that they were still an elected party, it's hard for them to say,
Still
"Okay,
elected,
It's
bro.
not a dictatorship.
Yeah, it's not a dictatorship. So you can't Saddam Hussein
Saying
us.
us.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
can't,
Or
ne?
Kanagaman, who's the Libya guy? You can't.
Gaddafi.
You can't Gaddafi us.
Yes.
Because when it's not a
You can't
dictatorship.
Lumumba.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, that's a good
and
point.
really find ground
Yeah.
to send
Because
military.
we are still a democracy.
Yeah, it's still a democracy.
Still a democracy.
Yeah.
You'd look hella shady.
Yeah.
On the world stage.
Sending military
If
to
you
our
send
country.
troops in SA.
Yeah.
Everybody would look at you for finding
Like you're wild.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's
it would. Correct. The intervention. Yeah, would look. Yeah, no.
Especially militarily.
Yeah, hore no, it's a massive, brother. It's a massive. Because normally they like to justify, okay, we are freeing them from a dictate.
That's not the point. But here we are democracy.
Yeah. They like to say that.
It's a democratic
It's a
government.
democracy.
With Libya, that's what they did. I
Yes.
guess that's what they did with
Yes.
Libya.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
We were freeing them from a dictator.
And you can have a leg to stand on that because it is a dictator.
You
There's
want
no
to
elections.
invade Madiba's legacy.
Yeah.
My nigga, like you wild. They would be wild, bro.
And also remember, in South Africa, whether you like it or not, by all metrics, by all economic metrics, white people are doing better.
Yeah, they are. I want to talk with the point that you said about the dwindling influence of Afrikanerdom or that in what sense? Because they still hold a lot of power.
Culturally and language.
Oh,
And language.
Yeah.
And population.
It's the way that it is because they have made concerted effort to keep it that way. Without which it would have been it would have dwindled. It's because of them that their language is the second language. This is not something that we decided. They made it so.
yeah, they made it so.
Yeah, it's a cultural project.
Yeah.
It's important.
Hence, they're so against Bella because then Bella
Yes.
is a thing that
Yeah. So in a normal world where there isn't any outside influence, they would dwindle at some point.
Yeah, they would.
Because they would get absorbed into the culture, into
because they're so minute
African culture.
of a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it shouldn't last over time.
Yeah, they would become Africanized.
In fact, if Hopola before UJ was changed, when it was Rand Afrikaans University,
Yeah, Rand Afrikaans.
remember, even when that name change came, there's a lot of brouhaha about it.
Yeah, of course.
And now Kabela, they feel like, fuck, these niggas are even going at a formative and a foundation stage.
Yeah, because essentially Bella says they can't be just Afrikaans medium schools.
In a non-African majority.
Yeah. So if
And there isn't anywhere where they're such.
there isn't anywhere.
And by
So essentially it was Afrikaans medium schools.
yes. Because even if
Essential.
you,
So that's a big deal to them.
It's
because how can Pretoria as a metropolitan, you know, like when I'm like, no, we know Centurion, but if you take Pretoria as a whole, Mamelodi, social move, you are not a majority.
You're not. I mean, even in the areas, it's because a lot of black people are still moving with you.
You will never be.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, you might even still be hard pressed in Centurion.
There's
a lot.
It's a lot of us over
Yeah,
here.
it's a lot of us.
It's a lot of dark.
Yeah.
Maybe in the
Yeah.
eastern side of Pretoria.
that we don't like.
Yeah. You know, like Bovate Kloof, maybe it's also let's say one, or maybe they'll have one Vate Kloof. But then the rest,
Yeah.
like Pretoria Boys High or whatever.
Yeah.
That converts straight English.
And Africa Muslim, Bible no ribajada. Bible no
Bethlehem, Don. Bethlehem.
Because the schools are African, but they are not the majority.
Yeah, both of the prominent high schools are Afrikaner.
And they are not the majority.
They're not the majority there.
But majority was so.
Hey, so those schools would need to change. That means
Oh,
English.
yeah.
English we'd have to have more English classes and maybe have one Afrikaans. Whereas right now it's a lot of Afrikaans and then
Maybe,
one or two.
and maybe it's a two second language.
Yeah.
Because now you have to assimilate.
No. I mean, happen to per grade.
There's two Afrikaans classes and one English.
And one English.
Yeah.
That would have
It's
to
going to be
switch.
lopsided. Now,
And in fact, the Wittenberg, there is no English class, is there?
They're all Afrikaans. I guess I Wittenberg because
I'm saying Wittenberg. No, Wittenberg is two Afrikaans,
two
one English.
Afrikaans, one English.
That's
would have
where
to
we
change.
went. You know that, but there's one English class
Yeah.
out of 3 classes in a grade. I don't know if that has changed since the last time we were there.
I'm not sure.
Last time I checked, Wittenberg had a fully
Afrikaans. That would need to change under Bella.
Under Bella.
Under Bella, that would change.
As far as I know, could be wrong.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Well, simple example, Bethlehem.
No, you are right. Because you get like little Nakara.
So now, Maburu Bethlehem. I know. Give my saper for them.
No.
Then they wouldn't want that.
Actually, a lot of times, like, let's say Tlexdop, that's what I'm saying. Culturally, even the name is Afrikaans. Mara, Tlexdop,
Kida.
ki ka sabola mo matler. Ki boda ki da bo.
Kida.
Makase. Bochinja batswara ke. Iketsara.
So that shit would need to change.
That's why they're so threatened.
That was the precise reason for apartheid.
Yeah.
That shit would need to change.
Because they were outnumbered. They had to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we were sharing a parliament now, what does that look like for our numbers? These people are a majority. We can never get anything passed in our favor.
Yeah.
And speaking about how urgent it seems for them, even in the budget discussions, because the budget hasn't been passed, right? It was only just announced, but it hasn't been passed. So like in the negotiations that are happening in the GNU, it will only support the VAT increase if Bafana Bao make concessions around Bell and the expropriations. Like literally. Just they're looking for a trade. Okay, we'll support the passing of this budget if you give us a bit of concessions.
Do we need
around.
DA to pass the budget?
Yeah. In the GNU, because they are
in the GNU we do.
In the GNU.
Yeah, in the
So
GNU.
it's not a parliamentary passed budget.
No, they
No,
still
but
have to vote.
it has to be voted on.
In parliament.
In parliament, yes.
Yeah.
So we don't need DA.
But-
If all the other parties coalesce.
But our factions, the MKP and ANC now comes into the picture because
they would need to go talk
yes.
to EFF and MKP to get the support. Sans DA.
It sounds so stupid.
Yeah.
But my first question is, why not? But that's such like it's such an oversimplified question.
Yeah.
But it's really that simple. And again, I think that's been the frustration the whole time. Like, my nigga, you guys couldn't agree as black people so much so that you had to go form a government with a white party.
Yes. Yes.
And
So you can't pass a finance bill and you've been held ransom
By that white
by a minority race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, essentially.
Because you won't go speak to your brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's essentially this is one of the first, actually it's the first budget that has taken this long to be passed. That has taken this long, like in terms of consultations that are happening, because ANC wants the VAT increase.
Wants the VAT.
It
There's
wants
nowhere
it.
else to get the money.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to get the
easiest
it's nowhere else to get the money. But DA, we only support you if you give us concessions on certain things.
But also, what this exposes is the hidden hand of funders.
Yeah, but then it forces the ANC to now go to the table, EFF.
You see, that shouldn't be something you're forced to do.
Yeah, and they don't want to talk to
And
them.
our priorities are.
But I can see how you can be forced to do that.
They are forced to do
You are
that.
forced to do that where politics, there's an invisible hand of capital that says you as the sitting president who has found with money, which in every reasonable person's mind, you did an illegal act. But we're going to protect you by way of funding you so that you have policies that are friendly to capital. The moment you want to go speak to your brother to become a majority, go to bulela pompo ya judiciary and legality to get you caught.
And
it's no longer as simple. Then it's no longer as simple.
and happy then it's a whole other can of worms, like with them now having to go sit with the MK, with the EFF,
the same
after
way,
everything that has
the
happened
same way
after GNU.
Even GNU, the funders went to Bozilebar politically and ideologically. You are anti-ANC, but we never saw that nigga with 15% coming. Zoom.
How would they open the Pompotanto?
It's a court.
Because finding money, it's an illegal act. Pala.
So how would they open the Pompo?
Okay, through the media.
Through the and judiciary. So what I'm saying is,
So what would stop an MK from doing the same?
they are not a majority.
No, but you don't need a majority to take someone to court.
To court.
No. Well, what will stop?
No, you don't need a majority to take.
So if you're saying to me that a certain amount of money was found in my couch,
Yeah.
right? And we're going to turn a blind eye to this thing,
Yeah.
and we're going to fund you so that you take on policies that are
Friendly to
conducive
us,
or
yeah.
friendly to us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're opening up this can of worms.
Yes.
This can is not exclusive to capital.
You also even the
Even
MP,
you yourself, if you had the funds, you
Yes.
could open that camp.
because
So-
because the judiciary is captured.
Yeah, because no.
No.
Let's look at
No,
it.
that's where I disagree.
Yeah,
The
let's
judiciary
look
is
at
not
it.
captured.
With regards to Palapal, it was a parliamentary process right now that happened, I guess. And then they
cleared him.
Parliament cleared him.
Yes. Even the Hawks cleared him. There are two
but-
processes that cleared him.
Okay, because what I'm asking is that was an actual criminal case opened,
Yes. Arthur Fraser opened a criminal case.
or that was investigated by the
Yes.
Hawks?
Yes.
Okay, because that
Then the Hawks boss said there is
Yeah.
no case. The SRB,
Yeah,
so the
because-
two processes. So the Reserve Bank,
yeah,
the Reserve Bank
that's an internal
is.
one. Yeah.
Then the leader was public protector,
Yes.
which is a case.
So that isn't enough you can hold to my neck.
So I'm saying then,
And then Parliament had its own process
Yes.
that cleared him.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that if I'm a sitting president, the way we've seen with all the presidencies is that we know that the judiciary and security cluster can get used in squabbles, study politics, the same way they target Nkandla
Yeah.
vis-a-vis any other person. So I'm saying if
But I don't think White Capital can use that.
They'd use media,
they use media and to tarnish
which
you,
also-
Yeah, I think media, but,
Yeah, the
but not
media.
in the courts
Yeah.
because
not in the courts, because it's been clear.
it has to be us.
yeah.
Zuma hoba munwe. Unwele ke rona. How no like Makgowa, yes, they
Influence.
tarnish his name
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they put pressure.
Mara ke
Makgowa.
rona.
And how long did we hold out before we really took Zuma down?
After so
We
long
held,
of
we held
bashing,
out,
though.
because without us,
I'm not gonna.
how no more, how no mates next. You can talk about him in the media,
Yeah.
but how no
Yeah,
more,
yeah,
no
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I
just
don't know.
tarnish his
Yeah,
image.
And that's
I
what I'm
know
saying.
more now.
The assault. That's what I'm saying. The assault is
It will be
multi-pronged,
media. Yeah.
right? So we will do it via, for example, private capital may decide not to invest in the economy, so that under your regime we have the highest unemployment. Then they can use the media to tarnish your, while they are influencing.
Yeah, it's just that it's precarious right now because the DA is part of government right now, and wherever there are disputes, okay, that's why they like to do this blackmailing sort of bargaining thing.
Bargaining, yeah.
Okay, nah, we'll ride with you if you
If you make concessions.
why one, and which is what happened. But then the ANC always reminds them, "Hore, but you are part of this.
You're
You know
government.
you know why we need the money.
Yeah, because you are government.
You government too.
Yeah.
You know why we need the money.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Whatever. And which is kind of my Mbalula stance. Hore, the DA knows why we need the money.
But they also use it to politics.
Hey, but they're using it to politics. And Mbalula and is bashing them for that. Okay, this is not the time for politicking.
Yeah. In fact,
Because you are privy as to why we need to raise the stake.
In fact, the positioning of DA in the media is positioned. We are keeping the NC's hands out of the cookie jar, not government.
And we check, okay, the NC has never said, okay, lekatsamaya. It's never gone that far. While the NC, while these guys are still extorting, okay, lekavaya, perfect. We can talk to other niggas.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to actually leave the
They wanna
GNU.
leave.
They benefit too by being in here.
They benefit by keeping Zuma out.
Yeah. They benefit by being in there. So get that all right. The stalemate, at some point, the ANC is just riding it out. They'll turn around. I get the if they will turn around, sebaba file 1 or 2 concessions in there. Well, that's the
Because
thing.
EFF and MKP together are bigger than
Yes, together.
They're 24%.
Yes. So if DA leaves and Bafana Bao bring in EFF Linto, it's a bigger majority on the GNU.
In fact, it is.
It is.
It is. In fact, it is, yeah.
And a DA will never allow that. They'll never allow that. So even though they're politicking, but when push comes to shove, they won't leave.
It's a lesser evil. They think GNU is a lesser evil.
Yeah, Mara, they will play those games.
Yeah.
They'll play those games because Bela and expropriation is an important talking point for Mangamla. So the DA always needs to be seen to be trying to lobby for it.
Against it.
Against it. I mean,
Against it.
against it. Yeah,
Yeah.
against it.
And they're not seen as government.
Where one? Aight man. Hubim, huh? I don't know if you guys want to make it lighter. Wait, there was a thing that I wanted to segue that we touched a little bit on that I had here, because Ramaphosa signed a new intelligence law amendment bill. Greg.
No, kiske. My problematic. Catch the rest of this episode on Patreon.
The Dojo.